Alex Becker has returned to Twitter as bullish as ever. He has a brand new thesis, which we're going to break down together in this video. He believes there is now a 5-year cycle. He believes the top for Bitcoin will be $160,000 per Bitcoin. He believes the top for Ethereum will be $8,000 per Ethereum. And he believes, this is satire of course, that his beloved peanut meme coin will reach $42,000 per token. He says it's always obvious to us, exactly as he predicted, which, to be fair, slightly different than he originally predicted, but he has been predicting this parabolic bull market move for years now. And it can all be explained by this graph. But before we jump in, it's important to know this video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. Modern financial instruments, including crypto, are highly volatile and the majority of retail clients will lose money. Do not invest any capital you're not prepared to go to zero. Oh, and below in the description are 2 important links. The first is a link to our early alpha and whale tracking community that will monitor the wallets portfolios of big influencers like Musk, Trump, Tate, CZ, Becker, Murad, and Crypto God John, and will monitor these wallets on the blockchain and their social media for you to see any activity of new buys, promotions, or launches of new tokens, so we can send you a message the exact moment that happens, helping you move up the Web3 food chain. The second link is a link to our Financial Escape Velocity workshop to give you a clear and exact step-by-step personalized roadmap, and if you're really committed, make the world seem as cheap as Temu. With that being said, let's jump in. Now, 90% of Twitter, 90% of Alex Becker's followers are really scared at the moment. And that's because they've seen a post like this. This is on 4chan. It says all-time low from 2015 to 2017 was exactly 1,064 days, meaning all-time low to all-time high, guys. That means you go from low to high. That's the bull market phase. All-time high to all-time low was 2017. The top to the bottom was 364 days exactly. And then the next 4 years, 4-year cycle. This is 4 years. The next 4 years repeated to the exact same day. Literally the exact same day. It was 1,064 days of up, followed by 364 days of down. I've plotted it on this chart for you so you can see how perfectly it has lined up. So this was the 2017 3-year bull cycle where Bitcoin increased in value almost every single month. It had a couple of down months, of course, but you can see over time basically increased for 1,064 days. Then from the very top of that market down to the very bottom before it started increasing again was precisely 364 days. It happened again, and these boxes are the exact same width, and that's because it's measuring the exact same amount of days. Another 1,064 days later was the top to the day, was the top of the last cycle of 2021. Then we had precisely 364 days of down, which, guys, this is uncanny. What a crazy coincidence that it mirrored itself exactly. And that's why people, like this post right here, says the pattern would print this cycle's all-time high on the 6th of October 2025. People are wanting to believe otherwise, but the simulation will repeat itself. Well, if we go and have a look at what happened, literally the top of this cycle is October 6th, 1,064 days from the bottom. Now, we're going to get into this theory. Some people think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy and people started selling because they were scared that it was the top and it became true. And we're really about to go absolutely nuclear before this green box over here. I'm going to explain this in just a second. And we actually started going down because people remembered the exact days for the last 2 cycles and therefore it became that self-fulfilling prophecy where it went down because people expected it to go down. However, Alex Becker believes that this pattern, and a lot of people, Murad, Saylor, a lot of the top market predictors believe that this pattern is now broken, and instead of 1,064 days plus 364 days, we are getting an extended green run, meaning this green box here, I can pull it out to show you, this green box here would extend well into 2026, and it will look like this. However, let me just stay with the pattern that has been occurring for the last 2 cycles, and is currently occurring right now, because we've had about 65 days of down since the top of the 1,064 days in October, about October 6th in here. And what I want to mention at the start, before I get into the 5-year cycle theory that Alex Becker has, is if this is true, well, we only have about 299 days more of down before we have a beautiful 3 years of up only for Bitcoin. So worst case scenario, in my personal opinion, is that we have to endure 200 days, 299 days of down. If this is going to just keep repeating itself, we're going to go to work. We're going to stack as much cash as possible. We're going to dollar cost average over this time. And then we're going to return for the on-cue 1,064 days of up, just like the opportunity we had at $16,000 Bitcoin. We are going to be getting that again, but at a much larger scale. However, what Alex Becker is predicting and what a lot of the top quants are predicting is that we literally have a whole nother year of green to go up. I'm going to get to the reasons in just a second. And we are going to see that upside right now. That parabolic banana zone is what they are predicting. Now, why? Why for the first time ever would we be extending into the 5th year when every other year we've only had 4-year cycles? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and to be frank, this video right here, it's a 51-minute video by Murad. You probably know who he is, the big SBX 6900 believer. He's got 750,000 followers. Made a lot of money off Bitcoin, being one of the OG to Bitcoin. Now made a lot of money off meme coins. He put out this video that is 116 reasons why the bull market will continue into its 5th year into 2026. I don't want to go through these 116 reasons. I cannot explain these reasons better than he can. Go and watch Murad's video after my video if you are wanting to be convinced more and more, or just understand the thesis why people predict it's a 5-year cycle. But in short, Vanguard just aped $1 billion of Bitcoin in 30 minutes. BlackRock ETF is its highest earner for them in their entire business model. Besant said the tax refunds are coming in Q1 plus $2,000 stimulus tariff refund checks. Everyone remembers what happened in COVID when everyone got their stimulus checked and put it into risk on assets like crypto. That was what sparked the 2021 bull market, and specifically the parabolic zone. New dovish Fed chairs wants to keep interest rates low and run the money printer. Quantitative tightening has ended and rates are continuing to drop. The overall macro tailwinds are piling up. Copper and gold are bottoming after gold has topped. Bitcoin cycle hasn't even started expanding yet. Go check out some of our videos and what Raul Powell says about that. And you think we're going to get that $40,000 Bitcoin next because of the old 4-year cycle? It's not happening, according to Psychedelic. It says new highs in 2026, and the smell on the timeline when people realize this will be beautiful. And Alex Becker agrees with this. He says people are not just over crypto. They actually actively want it and anyone excited about crypto to fail. And they will not win. The bears will not win, Alex Becker says. He says it always comes roaring back and will make a fool of all of the bears. It always does. And of course, on the post, a lot of bears started posting. Keep piling negative 90% on top of negative 90% until you are right. Alex Becker literally just circled this sentence in his post saying people are not just over crypto. They want anyone excited about it to fail right now, and pointed to his response. The bears are crazy in the comments right now. But Alex Becker knows how the crypto market works. He says the crypto market is designed to create maximum pain. It's designed to shake the most amount of people out as possible, to either have them give up or lose all their money before the parabola. And guys, this is by design. This is literally necessary for this to happen, for us to get the parabola, because if we're all just waiting with massive bags to sell when it goes up, it's not going to go up, because as it goes up, we sell and we sell and we sell and we pull it back down. So it needs to shake out 90 to 95% of people before it can full send into the parabola. Alex Becker says maximum pain right now is up and nuclear risk on bull market, while everyone is sidelined in inflating low yield cash and gold, trying to call the next Great Depression. It's coming and it will not be comfortable. How high does Alex Becker think it could possibly go? Well, he retweeted this post by Quinton048.eth saying believe in something, who says that we are at the optimism phase, which is kind of strange because it's definitely not optimistic out there. Someone like House of Crypto says we're currently in the disbelief phase, which to me would make more sense because there's so much disbelief out there. In fact, let's have a look at the fear and greed index right now. You can see we are at, I think, 27 today, fear and greed, or about 33 today. And we actually touched, I think, 6 or 7 on this, which is an extremely crazy low. Historically, guys, the lowest price points have correlated with the most fear, and the highest price points have correlated with the most greed. There is a little bit of lag time on that, which I go through in my other videos, but just know we're in a massive fearful phase right now in crypto, which is not normally marking the top of crypto. But Alex Becker thinks that we can go all the way to $160,000 per Bitcoin. Remember, that was actually in his first tweet. He put 160,000 per Bitcoin. So he believes that that will probably mark the top of this cycle before we have, I don't even know how long we'll go down for anymore. If the 4-year cycle becomes 5-year cycle, it won't be 364 down. It could actually be longer, which is why if we're wanting to make money, we should take advantage of every opportunity that we've got at the moment. In fact, Becker says there are some awesome opportunities out there. He says the coins that people hate right now will 5 and 10x before we even enter a confirmed bull during the boring recovery period, meaning the parabolic phase is going to come, say, in March or April of next year, according to someone like Alex Becker. But we're going to be slowly heading up as quantitative tightening ends, as the liquidity and the money flows into crypto, and as the old start rebounding and having a little bit more life. He thinks there could even be a way to catch a 5x on your money before mainstream even gets here. He says the easiest gains there are if we recover into any kind of uptrend. I will make a personal note here, having followed Becker for a while, and he does sort of go from absolute flexing on you, calling you a fool if you haven't bought what he thinks is going to go up, to talking like this, which is the other end of the spectrum. If we recover. Like, that is not a strong terminology for Becker, so he does understand that there is a chance, at least that what I'm reading into his tone, that we are going to see that 1,064 days stick to the cycle and then have 364 days of down, which means another 300 to go before we have the next 3 years of up. I believe, judging by the tone of what I'm reading his tweets in, he believes there is a chance that's going to happen. But what he believes stronger, I don't know what the percentage is, and I'll speak for myself. I believe there's a 75% chance that we go into our 5th year and a 25% chance we just have to wait 299 days until all of the opportunity comes back onto the market. I'm thinking Becker might be the same. I get a lot of my energy and sentiment from him. He says, you are going to blink and crypto will be suddenly in a permanent uptrend. Guys, this was tweeted 3 days ago. This is what he believes right now. The bottom will have been obvious. Your only worry being missing out on the next weekly runner. That's what it looks like. You've been here for Euphoria. It just looks like, oh my God, what is the token that's about to 10x because I need to get in ASAP and I need to figure out what it is. Not, oh my God, is anyone ever going to make money ever again, which is the sentiment right now. You'll be wondering why you didn't buy more and promise to buy more next time. You will see, says Alex Becker. Now, he had a guy comment on this called Ticker Plumber. He said, remember, Alex Becker and other perma pumpers, he's calling, are probably still up big from December 24 and January 2025 altcoin run. They are looking for exit liquidity for tax loss harvesting, which, I mean, doesn't really make any sense. You wouldn't want the token to go up if you're tax loss harvesting. Also, there's plenty of liquidity in a lot of these tokens, and Becker's not creating liquidity right now because the market sentiment's terrible. He could mention a new coin and probably would do nothing at the moment until that market sentiment gets back into 40s, 50s, 60s. Then he has a crazy effect on it. And Becker knows that this guy's just trolling / has no idea what he's talking about, and responded with a very interesting response. He says, yeah, I'm down like $35 million US because I didn't dump of any of my coins on my followers. He says, I never claim to be a master of this, but I do what I say. But keep inventing stories in your head to blame someone because you suck at this, which is Becker's sentiment is take responsibility for your own investments. If you're copy trading Alex Becker, he is also down. He's down $35 million. But he believes not only is he going to get it back, he believes that he's going to get a lot more back. To be fair, I agree with him. And I have a whole video on this, but I wanted to show you guys the volatility because I have people even in my personal life who are talking about, oh my God, have you seen crypto at the moment? I'm like, you hold through the volatility. And if you can't hold through the volatility, you're either not making enough money outside your crypto investments, or you've got too much money invested compared to your net worth. You're trying to have a massive moonshot. You need to obviously have runway in your life where you have some breathing room where you can wait. Michael Saylor has decades that he can wait before he needs to make a crash grab or sell any of his Bitcoin. That is a very powerful place to be because even Dogecoin, which in hindsight was so obvious, it was the original meme coin, it was a big Reddit coin, Elon Musk was behind it, well, not behind it, like created it, but he got behind it and supported it. It was an easy journey for Dogecoin. At least it seems like it was an easy journey. But during each of these phases, you would have looked like an absolute fool if you didn't sell. For example, this phase right here, which is phase 1, which is literally looks like a flat line. If you zoom in on that flat line, this is what it looks like. And you're like, well, we missed it. We didn't take our money out. We look like an absolute fool. And this happened over and over again in every single phase for a year leading up to that banana zone that everyone has been waiting for. So how are you going to play the market, and what do you believe? Do you think we have another 200 days of pullback before we get a lovely green box that's going to burst Bitcoin? Or do you think that this is a 5-year cycle, and for the first time ever, the parabola is coming in the 5th year, just like Alex Becker thinks? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.